Flosstube. I'm Amy. I'm the Globetrotting Stitcher and looking forward to spending some time with you today. Today is Sunday, May the 2nd, and this is Flosstube episode number 22. We hope that you are all doing well and that wherever you are in the world, you're enjoying the ongoing change of the seasons. Things are continuing to pop out of the ground here, and we're seeing lots more flowers and getting nice fragrant air outside. And so definitely enjoying that very much right now. Before we get into the stitching, there are a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, we have a big milestone coming up for our channel, and that is that at the end of the month, we are celebrating our 1-year Flosstube anniversary, which I can't believe we've already been doing this for almost a year. But it has been a real adventure and a real joy. I think one of the things that has been really lovely about it is it was a great opportunity for Gary and I to bring together two of our passions. So me with the cross stitch and Gary with all of his skills and knowledge in digital media. As many of you know, that's what he does for a living. And so it's been really fun to bring those two things together into a project that the two of us can share. And I've really enjoyed working with him and learning from him. And I think it's also been fun for a lot of us to see Gary try his hand at cross stitch for the first time and find that he enjoys it. So thank you so much to all of you. Many of you have been along with us since the very first episode. And so thank you for all of you that have been either been with us and stayed or are just coming along for the ride for the first time. This has been a really rewarding experience, and we so enjoy all of the people who leave comments and that we've had a chance to start getting to know over the last year. I feel like we've made some friends that we may not see your faces, we may not get to spend time with you in person, but we really do think of you as friends. We both really enjoy as time goes on between videos and we get comments. We'll read them out to each other, and it's something that we really enjoy. And so we think of you guys as our friends. And so thank you so much for spending all this time with us over the last year. It's been a great adventure so far. One other thing I wanted to mention, we just learned in the last week, we realized that ads have been running on our YouTube channel. And when we did start the channel a year ago and we had the option to monetize, we decided that we didn't want to because Gary and I don't particularly enjoy seeing advertisements around every corner. And so we felt like, at least for this channel, we didn't want to make all of you watch advertisements. And so we had chosen a long time ago that we didn't want to monetize. And what we've recently discovered is that ads are running on our channel. And so when I started to look into it, we found that YouTube changed its terms and conditions late last year. And so there are some channels that haven't monetized where ads are running. And so we are looking into seeing if we have any option to disable those. But just wanted you to know that if that's something that's been bothering you, we're sorry. We'll see what the options are. And if we can disable them, we will. And if we can't, we hope that you'll stick around with us anyway. So with that having been said, let's go ahead and dive right into the stitching. We don't have a whole lot in the way of life updates. We're just sort of bumping along as normal here. So the first thing that I wanted to show you, I spent a week working on my full coverage piece. That is Rose Trellis In by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm stitching it on a piece of 28 count white Lugana. I'm doing a 2/1 combination of a half stitch and continental tent stitch. And the last time you saw this piece, I was working my way across the roof. I had stitched, so there's 2 dormer windows in this roof, and I had stitched part of one, and I was getting close to being finished with the chimney on the inn. And so despite not having a ton of stitching time, I'm pretty satisfied with where I got to. So this is where this is now. As you can see, I was able to get past to finish this window, which is the one I was working on, and work my way across, and I'm now working through this window, and I'm fully finished with the chimney. I'm actually almost to the corner of the roof line here. And then as you can see, I'm really, really close to getting all the way across the top of this second row of pages, and then just being able to kind of fill in this last little block. I think it's going to take probably another 2 to 2.5 rotations to actually finish the row. But I'm really excited to be at this point because this next row of pages, that's where a lot of the really beautiful elements of the overall picture start coming into play. It's going to be a lot of confetti, but I think it's going to be so, so pretty. And so I feel like I'm at a really exciting place with this piece, and I'm really happy with how it's coming along. Those of you that saw this in our last update will remember we were kind of asking a question. So in this particular window, there's this kind of strange shadow, and we were trying to figure out, what is that? It kind of looks like a cat. You know, we posited that maybe it was a ghost or a creeper. And so several of you left comments with your ideas about what it might be, but one person, and I apologize, I didn't catch the name, but one person actually went and looked at the original piece of art that was created by Randall Spangler. And it turns out, unfortunately, it did not translate well into when the art was converted into a cross-stitch chart. So it will always remain sort of an unknown shadow, but it does turn out that in the original piece of art, this is actually a person who's sitting by a window, and I think they're reading a book or having up a cup of coffee or something like that. It does look like a blob, but so this will just be like the friendly creeper that haunts the inn or something like that.
Drinking a Coke.
It's not a can of Coke.
No, he said he's drinking a Coke.
Oh, he's drinking a Coke.
It's an ad.
It's an ad. There you go.
I told you.
Product placement at its best. But anyway, this is where this is. I did cross another big milestone with this the last time I worked on it. I passed 70,000 stitches. So really excited to have this coming along as well as it is. So that's that. The next piece that I worked on, I have been working this past week on my sampler. So this was a new start the last time you saw it. It is Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. I'm stitching it on a 35 count tin roof linen by Weeks Dye Works. And as I said, this was a new start the last time you saw it. So I had, notes are down. Gary to the rescue. So I had just started it. So I had put in a reasonably good part of the border. I had put in a little bit of the house and the roof. I was able to stitch the outline of the fruit bowl and put in a few of the smaller elements into the design.
What?
You guys can't see what I see here. Thank you. So I had a pretty good start the last time you saw it. And this time I was once again, I think, kind of unsuspecting at just how dense the stitching is on this particular piece, which is fine. But I'm pretty happy with where I've gotten to so far this past week. So here we are. This is such a beautiful design, you guys. It's so pretty. So this week I managed to finish all of the stitching in this top section of border. I'm almost completely finished with this right side border. There's just these little green elements that I need to plug in, and then that border will be done. I haven't done anything with this border, but that I'm going to focus on as well. I've done a little bit more of the roof line. I started to plug in some of the colors on the house and some of the windows. I'm almost done filling in the fruit bowl, got my initials in, and then I've started stitching some of the elements of fruit that are in the fruit bowl. So I am really, really enjoying this. I think it's really beautiful. And I am loving how all of these colors are popping on this fabric. So really looking forward to continuing to work on this one. It's definitely going to take me a little bit longer than I had thought it would when I started it, but it's a joy to stitch. And so I have no problem with taking some time and just really, really enjoying this piece. So there we are, Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. All right. Oops. I also got a chance during the last couple of weeks to put in some time on my wildcard stitching. And that is Bush Market by Hannah's Needlecraft. I'm stitching it on 32 count vintage country mocha linen. And the last time you saw it, which was a while ago, admittedly, I was working my way through the tree. So in the middle of the design, there's a large acacia tree. And that is a really dominant feature in the design. It's where, I would say a good third to 40% maybe of the stitches in the overall design are concentrated. So it's a big, big element that just takes up a lot of time. And for those of you that are new, this and getting used to my rotation, this is a piece that doesn't come out very often because it is a wild card piece. I typically bring it out to work on it when I have a finish in one of my other rotation spots. And then what I will do is bring this out and put a day into it. So it comes out probably on average between 1 to 3 months it'll come out. And sometimes it gets more love than others. So this is where it is now. I was able to get almost 500 stitches in on it this last time I worked on it. So I've definitely made more progress at filling in some of the branches over here and then some of this middle section of the tree. But for me, probably the most exciting thing was that I finally got to start stitching on a person. So this is a mama and her little baby. They're far from finished, but it was really, really fun to get some element in there that was not a tree. And so I am looking forward to this coming out again. I'm hoping that it will be something I get to work on again in the next couple of weeks, because I think I should have at least one finished coming up. And really, really looking forward to spending some time on this. I'm thinking I'm kind of getting to a point where I might want to start some of the back stitch. This is a pretty back stitch heavy design. And so what I may do is put in 1 or 2 strands of the back stitch before I put in any more cross stitch. But I really do enjoy this every time I pull it out to work on it, and really looking forward to continuing to spend more time on it. All right, the next design that I worked on is my travel stitching. And this is a piece that has been sort of a slow but steady progress. I am working on Seasons Spring by Leela's Studio, and I'm stitching out on a 32 count French vanilla swirl Wexford linen by Silk Weaver.
Did you just order a latte?
Non-fat. Almond milk. The last time that you saw this, I was fairly close to being finished with the floral arrangement that's in the center of the design. I had started stitching the little wagon that sits in. I had an egg done, and I was kind of getting to a good point in the piece, and I'm really, really pleased with where I got to this time. So this is where it is now. Having a hard time here. Perfect. There we go. So now this floral arrangement up here is completely stitched. The wagon is all stitched, and I've started putting in, I've made really good progress. So I've got the border all the way, these are that's the full width of the piece. So I've got it stitched all the way across, and I'm continuing to fill in the last color in the border. I've stitched all of the letters except the G in spring. And I've got, another bird, kind of the mirror elements over here. So I need to finish these leaves and a bird and a quilt star and a couple of eggs. And then this should be done. We will see if I get this finished. It might be a little more stitching than I can reasonably expect to get done in my travel, kind of the time that I have for travel stitching. I don't know that I'll be able to get this finished by the next time we give you an update, but maybe. But regardless, I really, really love this. I love the colors. I think it's just a beautiful design, and it's been a real joy to stitch this. So we will see if we can eke out a finish. I'm not sure though. There we go. Okay, and then the last whip that we have to show you is Gary's. As you all know, he has been working on No, which we also call Batman Slap by Happy Sloth Cross Stitch Patterns. It's an Etsy shop. He's stitching on 16 count Riviera Coral Ada. And the last time we showed you this piece, he had finished the entire left-hand side of the design and was starting to work on the right-hand side. And he had decided that he wanted to do all of the outline, the black outline for the rest of the design, and then kind of fill in from there. I don't know, do you want to talk about where you got to? I'll go ahead and put it up.
I'm sorry, I was completely someplace else. It's just filling in the border right now. So if you look just above Robin's cape, yellow cape, that all has to be gray. You may not know this, but we do use arrows in our and then this stuff above the gray is white, and then Batman's mouth and eyes are also white, and then it's just the border. So with any luck, I'll be done with this by the end of the week, because I got another one that I have to have done by July 18th. So
Yeah.
But anyway, this has been fun. If anybody has a suggestion for a caption, go ahead and say it. My personal favorite is Marianne, as opposed to Ginger. But what are your thoughts? Other than that, if you know how I can add a caption to this, that would be helpful as well, because it's not in the pattern. So I could just start stitching anywhere, I guess, but I would imagine there's some methodology that makes it possible, if someone knows of one. At any rate, that one's almost done. I cannot believe I'm doing another one, and then I got another one after that. But I'm staying monogamous, one at a time.
Staying monogamous. I kind of thought that there was like
I had a rough young adulthood.
Oh.
Sorry.
We'd agreed we wouldn't talk about that. I kind of expected, Gary has been making some rumbles over the last 3 to 4 days about maybe making a big push to get this finished in time for us to show you this update. And I think that he just decided that it was better to take the time and enjoy it and not try and rush through it just to get it done. But
yep, that's what I thought. All right.
But he's definitely getting close. I'm so enjoying seeing his progress on this. I just think it keeps looking better and better. So, yeah. All right. That's it for whips. So I have a little bit of haul to share with you. Not a lot, just a little bit. So a couple of months ago, I started watching someone who is a newer Flosstuber. She only has, I think, 4 or 5 videos out, and her name is Sarah. Her channel name is The Clumsy Stitcher. So if you haven't checked her out, I hope that you will. But Sarah showed, I think it was her second video, she was showing some previous finishes. And this one in particular, when she pulled it up and showed it, I just went, oh, that's so beautiful. It's really, really a beautiful piece. And I will tell you that both of my pieces of haul here are dimensions kits. And I think for me, what's interesting about that is I typically do not stitch with kits. I have stitched one kit design in probably the last 25 years. It was also a dimensions kit. It was one that we showed you a while ago, Purity, Strength, Truth. And I had stitched that for Gary about 1.5 years ago as a gift. He had picked it out. And I will just say in all honesty, I did not enjoy working on it. I grumbled about that project the whole time I worked on it. Dimensions uses a lot of blends, which is fine, but they also use a lot of variety as far as the number of strands of floss that are called for in a particular part of the design. So some places it's your typical 2 strands of floss, no big deal. Other places, they want you to use like 6 strands or 5 strands. And I don't like working with that many strands of floss. And so I've come to appreciate the effect that their approach has as far as the dimension that it creates and the impact that it has on the design. But I just didn't find it enjoyable. And so after I'd stitched that, I was like, I don't think I will ever stitch another dimensions kit. But I've been watching Cross Stitch with Luda, and those of you who watch her know that she is well known for her love of dimensions kits. She has stitched so many beautiful designs, and several of the kits that she has stitched in the last couple of years, I am like, oh, I'd really love to stitch that because it's beautiful. And so when I saw this finish on Sarah, the Clumsy Stitcher's channel, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And so I went ahead and put it on my wish list, but I did not let myself get it. And then she showed another kit a few weeks later, also dimensions, and I put that on my wish list. And so I've been sitting here for the last couple of months looking at these 2 kits and fighting with myself and thinking, that dimensions is not, you don't enjoy stitching them, but they're so pretty that I finally just said, you know what, I'm gonna get them. And now that they're here, I'm having a hard time resisting starting both of them. So the first one, And this is the one that Sarah showed as a finish. This is Aurora Cabin. And you guys, this picture just does not do it justice. She showed a framed version on her channel that was absolutely stunning. And I love this. It is so, so pretty. I think it's going to be so much fun to stitch. Well, it won't be fun to stitch, but it's going to be beautiful when it's done. And I just want to pull this out of the kit and get going on it because it's so pretty. So Aurora Cabin. And then I also picked up a companion piece, which is Cabin Fever. Another one that it's so pretty. Beautiful colors. I love in both of these designs the mirroring effect that's created of the cabin in the water. So these are beautiful. And actually this one, she's doing this for StitchMaynia. She's doing a Monogamania, and she started this piece for StitchMaynia and is going to work on it all month. So I cannot wait to see her update in June to see how far she got and how it's looking. So that is my haul, and I'm hearing the siren song of those two kits and wanting to start them very badly, but I'm resisting. So let's wrap up. I'll tell you what we are going to be working on between now and the next time we come to hang out with you. First of all, I just want to say that I know that StitchMaynia has started as of yesterday. And many of us are very sad that this is going to be the last official StitchMaynia, although I expect that this is a tradition that's now well established enough that stitchers are going to continue to informally do StitchMaynia for many years to come. And I've never done StitchMaynia, and because it's the last official one, I debated about whether maybe I would kind of try my own version of StitchMaynia. And so I thought about maybe I would do like a Monogamania and start a new full coverage piece. And then once these two kits came in, I thought about maybe stitching on one of those and do a Monogamania on one of those. But in the end, I decided to hold off. I find it far more motivating to have a limited number of whips that I work on a regular basis so I can get those finishes. So I'm not going to be doing StitchMaynia myself, but we would love to hear from you. If you are going to be doing StitchMaynia, whether it's traditional StitchMaynia or some other, one of the variants, we'd love to hear what your plans are. So please leave us a comment and tell us what you're going to be doing this month. As for me, I will be spending one more day working on my Blackbird sampler, Feast of Friendship. So I'll see how much more I can get finished on that today. Then I'm going to spend a week working on my Fancy Lady, which is Royal Holiday. This is the design that I am doing as a stitch along with Sarah, the Stitch Addict, on Instagram. So if you haven't joined us and you would like to, we would welcome more stitchers in our SAL. I am also going to spend a week working on my seasonal design, which is Hello Fall by the Scarlet House. That one's a pretty dense chunk of stitching, but I'm hoping I could get it finished. I would like to think I could get that finished this next time I work on it. I will also be continuing to work on my travel stitching, which is Season Spring by Leela's Studio. Also going to hope and see if maybe I can push for a finish on that. And then Gary, I fully expect we'll have a finish on Batman Slap, or the No design, and may even have a new start to show you the next time we come to hang out with you. So we are going to be keeping very busy. Hopefully we have an exciting video full of finishes for you next time. In the meantime, I think that's it for us for today. It takes typically about a week and a half to 2 weeks between each when we film and when we're able to post a new video, just because the editing process takes time. So between now and then, I think there'll be Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. And in whatever form or fashion that you are a mother, we wish you a happy Mother's Day. Yeah, so I think that's it for us. If you like this video, we hope you'll give us a thumbs up. It does help us reach a wider audience of stitchers and continue to make new friends in the community. If you haven't subscribed already, we hope that you will and that you'll keep coming back to spend time with us. As we said, we love reading your comments, and so please do feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you're up to. And between videos, you can follow me on Instagram and see what I'm working on. I am at globetrotting_stitcher, or you can send us an email at globetrottingstitcher@gmail.com. So stay well and safe, and keep stitching on all the things that give you joy, and we will see you really soon. Bye-bye.